confirmed on the Natanz nuclear site. Iranian state media reports superficial damage to the facility, with most damage occurring on the surface, leaving Natanz underground enrichment capabilities intact. Outskirts of Tabriz and Shiraz have also been targeted in what Iran is calling an aggressive attack. In a recent statement aired on state TV, President Masoud Pezeshkian declared that Iran will make Israel regret its recent attacks, which included strikes on various locations, including nuclear sites. Meanwhile, Israeli embassies worldwide, including those in the United States and the United Kingdom, have closed their doors today in response to recent deadly Israeli airstrikes in Iran. The Israeli missions issued a statement confirming the temporary shutdown of embassies in countries like Sweden, Norway, Germany, Nigeria, Russia, Ukraine, and France. Additionally, Iran's Ministry of Communications announced that nationwide internet restrictions have been implemented following Israel's strikes. According to the ministry, the restrictions are temporary and will be lifted once normalcy is restored. After Israel's Operation Rising Lion resulted in the deaths of several senior military leaders, Iran's Supreme Leader Khamenei has appointed new commanders, including Brig General Mohammad Pakpour as the new IRGC chief and Major General Abdulrahim Mousavi as the new chief of staff. Now we have guests joining us for this discussion. Lev Aran is a senior journalist live from Israel. Lev, does this level of retaliation from Israel mark a shift in its traditional deterrence doctrine?
First of all, thank you for having me. We cannot deny that we are on a new page in Iranian-Israeli relationship, and it has a relevancy also to the global arena, even to India. And it seems that once Israel understood that Iran is not, doesn't really care about the safeguards, the international nuclear safeguards, that it had to comply, Israel was thinking that it has no other, it has to start some kind of a war against Iran. So this is the situation right now.
And what are the reactions, or what happens to the reputation of Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu inside domestically and also internationally, as it has been very
It's a very good question, because let's say, unlike the Gaza front, that Israel domestically is divided, and at least a very big chunk among Israelis think that we need some kind of a ceasefire with Hamas in order to get all the hostages back, because as a country, we cannot leave them in the Hamas tunnels. As far as Iran is concerned, Netanyahu was always scolded that he's not brave enough with Iran. Even 10 years back, even 12 years back, Netanyahu was scolded that he needs to attack Iran, but he's not brave enough. He doesn't find the guts to do it. So I wouldn't say that the war is very popular, because a war cannot be really popular. But in the case of Iran, there is a consensus that Israel had no other choice.
And given that Netanyahu is facing a lot of opposition within Tel Aviv, including the Tel Aviv recent protests taking streets, what are the reactions domestically as of now?
It is not only Tel Aviv. Tel Aviv is a big city, but you could see demonstrations in many, many places. I think that as far as the mini war with Iran is concerned, what Netanyahu decided is quite popular.
And now moving on to the world reactions, and can third-party mediators like Turkey, Qatar or Oman still realistically de-escalate tensions between Israel and Iran at this point?
This is important because we could assume that one reason why the Americans gave a green light to Israel to attack, because I do not believe, unlike the BBC, I do not believe that Netanyahu could really start this mini war with Iran without some kind of American support. I do believe that the Americans gave him a green light because they felt that the negotiations in Oman with Iran, they're not fruitful enough, that Iran is very weak now. But when it comes to Oman, they do not understand, they do not digest, they hold a very sticky wicket, and they could not demand that much of America. So I guess one reason why Americans support Israel now is because they believe that Iran will go back to the negotiation table, but in a more, let's say, modest and humble way.
Now, building on to Iran's risks, could Iran resort to cyber attacks or asymmetrical warfare beyond the region, targeting Israel's allies globally, according to you, Lev?
Iran has a lot of capabilities, but Iran is not as strong as it was a year ago because the Iranian axis of Lebanon, Hezbollah, and Syria, the Assad family, and even the Houthis in Yemen, and of course Hamas in Gaza, they're all much weaker, or they're not in the arena anymore. So of course, Iran still has a lot of capabilities, cyber and not only cyber, but Iran now is much weaker than it was before. And I guess it was a window of opportunity for Israel and for Netanyahu's government.
And what indicators should political risk firms be watching now to assess whether this becomes a sustained regional war or remains a sharp flashpoint?
I do not believe it will be a regional war in the sense that I don't see many friends of Iran around. They had only one real friend, which was Bashar al-Assad in Syria. But now if we delve into other Arab countries, most of them are like moderate Sunni countries that hate the Iranian Shia regime as much as Israel hates it. So I cannot see at this stage many allies that Iran can befriend at this early stage. But you know, Middle East is full of surprises. So let's wait and see.
Thank you very much, Lev Aran, for